guys, welcome back to my channel. Want to actually share some helpful tips to you guys that helped me a lot. I kind of picked up on the way, or I, got advice from other members of the gastroparesis community. Things that just helped me with my feeding tube more so. And that's what I want to focus on. So gastroparesis is a type of spectrum disorder, meaning that it affects everyone differently, and it's different severities. So some people have it severe enough that they need a feeding tube, like me. These are just some of the things that have helped me handle my feeding tube, because it can be really stressful, especially if you don't have like the right equipment or just the know-how. And when I got my feeding tube, there was a flop with my insurance company and my doctors and everything, and I didn't really get a home health care team. A lot of the information you can actually find online. Now there's a lot of different resources that entail feeding tubes. I started off with like something that we call a dangler. And now I have this little tiny button. Right now I have gauze around it. But the first thing that has helped a lot is something called a Tubie pad. I have a bunch of different kinds of Tubie pads. A lot of them need to be washed right now because it's like laundry day, but I just got this one. Star Wars! And I've actually noticed that with the elongated holes, it's not always as comfortable, so I get them a little bit bigger when I get them with the elongated hole. This one, see, it's more of a circle. So I started off with gauze when I first got my feeding tube because it leaked a lot and drained quite a bit, and what I mean by that is, and it's gross, it's a mixture of bile and like pus that leaks out, and this actually means it's healthy. That's like a normal thing as long as it's not leaking excessively. And there were times where like it was bleeding a lot and it would soak my gauze pad a whole lot and I would have to change it a bunch. And there was even a time where it was so much that I couldn't even use a Tubie pad because these do soak up pretty well, but having to like just change out the cloth tubing pad all the time, where the gauze, I feel, if you're having a lot to soak up, will soak it up a lot better. I can show you guys how I put it on. So I just take the gauze pad off, and I'll show you a little TMI warning, but so there's just a little bit of stuff right around the edge. And I've had my feeding tube now since November. So that's like, so I've had it for like 10 months now, and it does still leak. I don't always have to use water anymore to clean my stoma either. Instead, I just go around the outside and I get like excess goo off. And there's really not a whole lot, like I barely even got any on there. There are definitely times though where like the granulated tissue, which is skin that grows around the stoma, and the stoma is the hole that the tube actually comes out of. Sometimes there will be granulated tissue, and this is just healthy tissue trying to grow back. It is extremely painful sometimes. It can bleed really easily and a lot. For a while I was dealing with it. It can be really, really annoying, really uncomfortable. There are different things that doctors could do. They technically like burn off the skin, but because like my radiologist, he was just like, no, this means it's really healthy, like I'd rather not do that because you could end up making it worse. And so I just trusted him. He was like, just he's like, I'm sorry, it's not sexy and I can't make it sexy, but and now I got new Tubie pad on. So, and this one fits pretty well. There's been some that like don't fit that great, or the snaps on them. Like, you just want to be careful, make sure that the snaps can come off easily so that when you pull it off, you're not like trying to you know, mess around with the actual pad itself. Those are a big help. I get all of mine off Etsy from tons of different stores. They range in different prices, and there's different cloths that you can use that are, that they're made with. Like I said, there's tons of different ones, there's tons of different characters, different season themes, so it can be fun. And that's what I like about it, because gauze pads are very boring and bland, but you throw on a Tubie pad that has like some character, and I don't know, it like kind of, it's the little things that matter, you know. So, you know, being able to put your personality into your feeding tube, something that isn't really, woohoo, I'm happy to have this thing, you know, something that you're not super confident about, and then now you can jazz it up. So the other thing that I have found that is really helpful is a hanging travel organizer. You can get this off of Amazon, you can get this off Etsy, pretty much anywhere, Walmart. I really like these things. They're like are really handy. I put my syringes and like my fresh Tubie pads up here in this pocket usually, and then I just fill these pockets with miscellaneous medical items that I need. This usually has like alcohol swabs in it, wipes. This has like my paper tape. You always want paper tape. And I always try to get the stuff that's like sensitive to skin, because even if you really don't think you are sensitive to medical tape, it really irritates the skin really badly. This is where I usually put the old dirty Tubie pads in. I obviously want to keep them separate. And then there's even a compartment down here, because I'll be honest, you have to carry a lot with you when you have a feeding tube, and I still want it to be small enough where it's not impeding me, because you're already having to carry your backpack as well, and, you know, purse if you want to carry, you know, more normal things, I guess you want to say. But yeah, I have my medical swabs. I have some Hypafix tape. This tape is absolutely amazing. It doesn't usually bother my skin too much, and I use the Hypafix, which I got off of Amazon as well. I got it so that I can tape my tube down to my body, so that if it accidentally gets snagged on something, it pulls at like the anchor and not the actual tube. It works really great in the shower, and I really love that. Carry a towel in here at all times, and some vomit bags. Actually, I need to put one in there because there's not one in there. These guys, you know you have gastroparesis when you have a stack of these babies, or they're in your car, they're in your purse, they're in your mom's car, but these things are great. This is like probably one of the greatest inventions of all time. Get yours now for a low price of $5.99 from your local ER. I'm just kidding, I don't actually know how much these cost. But great for throwing up in at random times and then not having to deal with it, you know. Paper bags suck, having to use random plastic bag that you found somewhere that probably has a hole in it. These are pretty handy dandy, and they're strong, so they're big helpful. Oh, another really helpful thing that I absolutely love is Uni-Solve. I got this off of Amazon as well, and this works amazing for tape residue. I was going to show you guys, I'll try and show you in another video since I don't actually have any tape residue on my stomach right now. But yeah, just one little wipe, and if you go in like a circular motion, it takes the tape residue right off. Works really well for paper tape, medical tape, Band-Aid tape, tape. All of the tapes. It works for all of the tapes. Oh, yes. So, next thing is the feeding tube backpack. So, feeding tube backpacks are pretty plain. That mine is just like a small black and white one. I'll go grab it.